came in like a thief, and you stole the crown. Your lies keep piling up, and we watch them weigh you down. The fair and greed that you stole, they run the whole fucking show. But we are not afraid, and we will not let go. The bigots rise, and you fan the flames. You build an empire of fear and pain. You're hand in hand with the billionaire scum, selling out this country while you play dumb. Burn it all down! Tear the walls apart! We will not bow! We will not lose heart! We will put an end to the hate! We will put an end to your lies! We will stand side by side! And we will You think these cages are built for the poor and for the weak, for the families torn apart while you laugh and tweet? Look at the puppets dance to the corporate sound, but we are still here and we will stand our ground! There is blood on your hands! We have seen the truth erased! You put the prophets first! Instead of the people you've displaced. History is watching, and it won't soon forget. It may not be you this time, but you could soon be next. Burn it all down, tear the walls apart. We will not bow, we will not lose heart. We will put an end to the hate, we will put an end to your lies. We will stand side by side, and we will rise! Rise! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Lies on the screen from the deadline machine! Burn it all down! They killed the American dream! An escalator, a tower built on decay. Smiling like a tyrant while the world fades away. Fear and hate is the name of your game. Divide the people and shift all the blame. The truth is dead, you sold them for fame. History won't forget your name. Fake empire, built on greed. Fascist clown, watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! Broken to cases! You have got blood on your hands! Worship the dollar while you ignore our demands! We storm the gates! Our rage is fueled by your lies! We will sit back and watch as your empire crumbles and dies! Fear and hate is the name of your game! Divide the people and shift all the blame! The truth is dead, you sold them for fame! History won't forget! Nay, nay! Fake empire! Built on greed! Fascist clown! Watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! You build walls! We break them down. You spread lies. We burn this town. You breathe fear. We fight back. Hardcore heart. Counterattack. Fake empire going down. No more kings for the crowd. Justice call. Hear the sound. Rise up now and stand your ground. All out. Promises right. Promises right. On a gilded stage, dividing the people, fueling the rage. Walls built high, but compassion's low. Truth buried deep beneath the show. No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. Families torn at the borderline. Justice denied, time after time. Prophet's soul on the planet burns. When will we learn? When will we learn? No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. It's just begun. Resist the power and break the chain. Rise above all this hate and this pain. Together we're strong, we won't divide. In our unity we will find our pride. The fight's not over, it's just begun. 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 The fight's not over! Whispers turn to battle cries. The truth is dead, been fed to lies. They sell us lies in the name of peace. What justice rots beneath the leash. They write the laws just to serve the few. We bleed beneath the red, white, and blue. But freedom's fire still burns inside, where truth and treason often collide. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. peace without the will to fight. No dawn without a rebel night. The ballot's a joke and the court's offline. And American justice lags a decade behind. So strike the drum and light the flame. Each beating soul will rise again. The people's wrath is a sacred flood. The soil drains deep the martyr's blood. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. Not for glory, not for gold, but for the stories that were never told. For every voice that they tried to drown, we will plant the flag and hold our ground. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't resist. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must grow with the blood that only the brave know. And if we should fall, then we fall as one beneath the rising vibrant sun. The tyrants will fall and the people will rise, because freedom never truly dies. They build their towers in the sky, hoarding wealth while the workers die. Billionaires with blood-stained hands, trampling lives to expand their brand. They say they earned it, they say it's fair, but they only take while we despair. Their pockets are fat and their hearts are cold. Working ourselves to death makes them more bold. But now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. The system is rigged, it's all just a game. The rich pull the strings, the poor take the blame. Wealth hoarders live in mansions, the people live in shame. The billionaires don't care, they cash in on our pay. Luxury is a cage, it's been built on the backs of the common workers that they keep under attack. But we the people, we've had it wrong. Their empire is fragile, we've had enough. And now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives, and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you only God's whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. No more silence, no more living in fear, no more being divided, no more broken man's tears. Don't try to keep us down. You are not our king. In every city and every town, let motherfucking freedom ring. Because the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see your lies and we know the deal. You hoard your wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. We signed up to fight for freedom, not to be the boots on the necks of Americans. You used us, you lied to us, and now we're coming to square the account. get fucked and die mad about it. Admin Tip 360, bitch! We wear the scars, we bear the pain. We watched our friends die in blood and blame. You said that we fought for liberty, but we came home to fight hypocrisy. You turned a rifle around our peace. You crushed dissent, you unleashed police. You sent us in just to guard your throne. You turned the streets into a combat zone. No one wants to know. Not in this fight, we are alive. Whether it's day or night, no one wants to know. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. You armored up and sent the troops to beat down kids and protest groups, to guard the banks, protect the suits, so that they can't keep us under their boots. You wave the flag like it's a threat, but we remember every single bet that you left to rot, alone and discarded, while CEOs got golden parachute parties. One walks alone, not in this fight, we are the light. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. To every citizen still asleep, wake the fuck up! To my fellow veterans, remember your oath! Our freedom is dying right beneath our eyes! The people in charge tell us nothing but lies. The common people starve while billionaires see, and we're the ones tossed out in the street. Let's eat the rich, let's make them pay their share. Paying their taxes is a burden they can bear. Make billionaires right again! Not in this fight, we are the light. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one truth. We are the same. No one walks alone. Not in this fight, we are the light. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one truth. We are the same. No one walks alone. I got something for you. Hang on to your asses. Golden towers, velvet ropes, behind the mask, a vulture chokes, power suits and dirty hands, wag the dog in desert sands, victims screaming into voids while kings play gods with broken toys, airbrush lies on every screen. What the hell does justice mean? Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free, blood on the floor, hurt trooping chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? You built your throne on broken laws. Now you're scared, you know what you saw. Silence bought with piles of cash. Erase the files, burn the trash. Martial law for damage control. Draft the bar to hide your soul. Wanna light the world on fire just to dodge the electric wire. History is a loaded gun. Tick, 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 you better run. Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free. Blood on the floor, hurt trooping chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? Your kingdom shakes with every name. You'll kill us all to dodge the blame. This ain't conspiracy, it's confession. Hidden in plain sight for suppression. You laugh while the system bleeds, but the streets remember what you need. Truth, there's a crime. You just spare the time. When the lights come by and your ass is mine. Locked room, VIP. No more secrets, no more cages. Dragged across your marble floor. Truth is kicking down your door. I said I'm young and believe the vow. Stars and stripes, I wear them now. Trained to fight and trained to lead. Wore the flag like it was all I need. I went to war, that was my goal. Buried brothers filling bullet holes. Did what I had to cause that was the cost. I came home proud but broken and lost. The other party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. They wrapped their lives in red, white, blue, but the blood on my hands was never for you. It was never for you. They said freedom, they said truth, but fed me hate since I was a youth. Republican dreams, conservative pride, just uniforms for the greed they hide. Where were they when the VA failed? When my friends came home and we all derailed? Where were they when we screamed in pain? Too busy chasing power and gain. All the party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. You bring support to wave your flags while you turn your backs on body bags. Don't turn your back on the fallen. You say that I betrayed you. I bled for this country. What did you ever do? You cheered for war. Then you ran from the wounded. I see who the traitors really are now! I gave my all, you gave me lies. Soldiers die while your empire thrives. Call me woke, call me lost. You never paid the fucking cost. And the party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. I fight again, not for your pride, but for every soul you left behind. The party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. Justice ain't red, justice ain't blue. It's the truth, and it's coming for you. Marching down the street with your MAGA flags, being serpents' lies while you're waving that rag, screaming freedom while you chain the weak. It makes me sick every time you speak. Beneath your cross, beyond your screen, you sold your soul for a fascist dream. Keyboard warrior that don't know pain, a cultist clown whose leader's insane. You are a king, not a constitution. You crave control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us, you're a fucking disease. You live in fear, spend life on your knees. Try to own the limbs, but you just don't regret. You fake your fate, now you choke on the dead. The party of law and order, but you storm the hill. You back the blue except when you're out to kill. You wave a gun in your neighbor's face. Fake ass patriot, you're a fucking disgrace. History watch while you took your stand. We saw what you did all across this land. American patriots don't kneel to a king. You're a fucking simp sucking that cinnamon ring. You are a king, not a constitution. You claim control, not a revolution, but you lick the boots. You're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us. You're a fucking disease. You live in fear. Spend life on your knees, trying to hold the limbs, but you just don't regret. You faked your fate, now you choke on the dead. You traded your hood for a MAGA hat. The mark of the beast, you believe in that? You don't believe the words that you shout. You chant just to drown out the doubt. You were born to lose and you still started this game. The fire is coming and we are the flame. We're gonna tear it down, bury it 6 foot deep, and we'll never forget that you're a sheep. You are a king, not a constitution. You claim control, not a revolution, but you lick the boots. You're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us. You're a fucking disease. You live in fear. Spend life on your knees, trying to hold the limbs, but you just don't regret. You faked your fate, now you choke on the dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 26, 47. 1, 2. He wraps himself in red, white, blue, and lies. Makes NGOs and louder basses boast. He stokes the fire with civil reason dies, and feeds the walls of anti-loyal hoes. He blames the strong and bladders for a ghost. The sirens feast and tear freedom for stealth. His throne is built on smoking shit posts. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Lady liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He scores people who bled for law and land, and praises the mob that stole the sacred floor. A coward's grin, a scepter in his hand. He cheers as chaos shatters every door. His pledges rot the meaning nevermore. He traded the truth of treason, gained renown, and still he begs for power, blood, and war. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Oh, lady liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand him, not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He turns his back while tyrannies grow bold. He whispers secrets where the hawk should warn. And all for what? Some towers fake and gold. A name in bond and scandal loud and worn. No martyr here, just falling to be worn. A fraud and silken jester in a gown. The gospel's house a shame he won't adorn. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Lady liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down.
Now it's time for the throw punch!
No start. walked into a congressional protest the other day. All right.
That's some badass
Brian
tunes, man.
McGinnis.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Thank you.
Doing
Good. How
well,
about
doing
you?
well.
Man, I'm so excited to meet you guys. Big Sarge, I got your note when I got back to home and I saw my emails and I came across you and I was like, these are the people I really want to connect with. And then thankfully Eljo reached back out and we got connected again. So I'm serious. I'm so excited to meet you guys. And Eljo sent me the video of you telling what the Sons of Liberty are all about. And my wife and I laughed out loud multiple times. Just felt like this is the place and the group to be with. And so good to meet you. It's an honor.
I think the honor is ours to meet you because
honestly,
I mean,
it's
Marine,
not every
firefighter.
Day, it's not every day you meet another Marine who got his arm broken by a senator, right? Like that's pretty badass.
Yeah, man. I think God put all that
Navy
together, man.
SEAL.
Yeah. Gravy seal.
Yes.
Did you hear my bro Tony Aguilar call him out and say, call him out for that, saying you fat ass, called him a punk, and said
I didn't. No.
That's why I got kicked out of the SEALs.
Yeah.
Fat ass.
I was trying to get him on the stream, but I haven't heard from him. So if you see him, say what's up? Why are you not on their stream? Yeah.
I got you.
So for those of you that don't know, our guest is Brian McGinnis. And if you don't know who Brian McGinnis is, you know what? Just take 5 seconds and Google it. In the meantime, Brian's a Marine, a firefighter, and running for Congress. I'm sorry, running for Senate, which I mean is part of Congress, but whatever. Running for Senate in North. Are you going after Tom Tillis's vacated seat?
Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all I got. I'm going to let you introduce yourself for everybody else that's over here furiously Googling, because you know better than we do. So just tell us some more about yourself. Tell us things that we may not know from the various media places that have tried to malign you and whatever else.
Yeah. I've steered clear to know what the malignment has been, which is good because I'm not trying to hear that anyway. But I'm a father of 4. And they keep me super busy. It was funny. I got out of the jail. I got out of the hospital. They didn't hold me in jail. I was in the hospital the whole time. And so I really didn't know the splash I had made. But after I got out and I saw some emails and saw the stuff online, it was overwhelming. And so a lot of emails were very supportive. So I was kind of like thrown for a loop. But like I said, my 4 children, my wife, and our life that we've got to keep up with is keeping me grounded. And so it's a great mixture. But like you said, I'm running for the Senate seat. And so this is giving me a lot of visibility and attention. So, and I've got a lot of people donating to my campaign, which is giving the Green Party a big boost because we do not accept corporate donations. We do not accept super PAC money. So that usually is shoestrung us for the most part. But this big influx of donations is giving us something to work with. So we're really trying to maximize our ballot access and maximize our run at this to spread awareness for issues that the Republicans and Democrats won't, and just speak up for the common man and really announce that we don't take that big money, which I think is really corrupting our government. It's the money that goes into these campaigns. Roy Cooper has got millions, man. I think I talked to Dan Bilzerian. He says it's $50 to $100 million to win a Senate seat. And we think we got money, man. We ain't got nothing close to $1 million. But we're gonna maximize it and do the most we can with it. And I think genuineness and realness is going to speak louder than all that money anyway at this time in our world. I hope. I just got to get out there and talk to people.
Excuse me. I'm still getting over this cold that I've had for like 3 months now. It's I don't know.
It's the constant up cold and hot, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, one day it's like 40, and that's the high, and then the next day it's 86, and then we're back down. And I'm like, can I just get well, and then we can do the temperature roller coaster? Like,
Totally.
I wanted to ask you the biggest question that I have, and this is not a knock or anything. It's I just want to see what your perspective is, and bear in mind that our viewers do tend to be on a certain side of things. We don't want to ask, but we're not going to let anybody trash talking. So you're running as the Green Party candidate. Can you tell us why the Green Party and not, say, the Democratic Party or even the Republican Party? Yeah. I mean, this being North Carolina and everything.
Because my wife's American Palestinian. I've known the oppression they face through military occupation. If we were over there, we would fight back like the Palestinians are. That being the truth, apart from any political scheme, that's where my heart lies. That's where the injustice is in my eyes. When the Democrats refused to let Palestinians represent their voice at their convention, that was a complete denying of their voices, and that didn't fly with me, and showed that they're complicit and in on it with the Republicans and Democrats. I believe that's a controlled opposition. Either way, I was just like mad at that reality, and I had been Republican prior to that, to be honest. But I had lost faith in both parties by this time. And anyway, when they denied the Palestinians, it just showed their complicity in the Israel bought outness. And then Jill Stein was running for president. She was pro-Palestinian, and her voice was the only voice standing up for Palestinians. So I just gravitated towards the Green Party. I wasn't going to waste my vote on the Republicans or Democrats. I got into what the Green Party was. I joined the North Carolina Green Party group. And we're basically about people, planet, and peace over profit. I can jive with that, and that's it. Then I got in there. We had ballot access because Matt Ho, a Marine, ran in 2020, and for the Senate seat. And we don't get ballot access. You got to get a bunch of petitions. So he got us this ballot access. I thought I'd make the most of it and run for Senate. And this was well prior to the arm breaking event. So I was just trying to make some waves and do what I could. I was trying to pivot my sadness and depression about the killing going on in Gaza to action in the political realm. And that's how I came around to doing with the Green Party.
Okay. And so that actually that ties into a question I did want to ask you, because I saw on your Wikipedia page that you participated in the flotilla to bring aid to Gaza. I was very, very curious what that experience was like for you, because I mean, you don't really hear much about it like in the news cycle beyond, oh my God, I'm so sleep deprived. I forgot her name. Greta Thunberg being assaulted there, right? But what was the actual reality like of doing that?
I went in April 2024, and when I went to Istanbul, where they were going to port out to do this, they weren't allowed to leave. So I never got on a boat, and I never went on the actual waters for the flotilla. Later on, they did the Samud flotilla where Thornburg and Greg Stoker and a bunch of people were taken captive, and they were treated badly. And but when I went to Istanbul. I met a ton of amazing activists, longtime activists. I met this guy from Ireland who led a convoy of vehicles from Ireland to Gaza via Libya and everything. And he told me about those stories. I heard so many stories that it was just an inspirational trip just to talk to other activists and realize all the things that people have done in the past for peace, because I was just a new guy in that world. So just rubbing shoulders and meeting a lot of people who had amazing hearts of service and hearts of empathy was the amazing experience there. I was still managing my time off from work and ideas of trying to travel and help. So when I heard that it wasn't going to happen, I cooked it back home to salvage my time salvage my vacation time. So, but that's how it was over there.
Okay. Yep. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir, man.
Now, you
Who's the
being
vocals
down
on the
south,
music band? You rock, bro. You are rocking, man.
I want to ask you. So, my wife is a first responder, and so I continually hear. She worked Wake County and then Johnson County. Johnson County is very, very red. So I know the typical mentality of the average person who works in both the firehouse and the EMS. What kind of shit did they give you when you said you were going to run for Congress in the Green Party? Like, did they bust your balls a lot, or were they just like, cool, whatever, and then go back to watching The Pit or whatever?
My crew is pretty open-minded, not too set in their ways with politics. I think a lot of them are somewhat disillusioned with the government anyway. But a lot of folks that are outside of my station, I know, give me a weird look and question, my allegiance. Am I a terrorist lover? Am I a liberal, loony leftist? But I can't dwell on that. I'm really trying to convince these guys to find it in their heart to have sympathy for the Palestinians who are not at all have any resources or government or military to defend themselves, and they're going against America and Israel, a huge, incredibly strong military force that's just using bunker buster bombs on them, living in tents, completely mystifying. I mean, turning them into mist to where the death count is incomplete because there's certain people have been evaporated. Many people have been. And so I'm just trying to speak on that level. Like, can we not just get past the politics and speak about humanity and what in the obvious sake of destroying people in the 21st century and how that's wrong? That's where I'm coming from. And I've got something in the oven. I'm just going to pull out real quick.
Yep.
I've got booze on my desk. I'm going to pull that out real quick and dump it down my throat. Yes, sir. Who knows what Matt's doing? He's probably like walking the dog. I don't know. I know he posted something.
He had to deal with Ram. Ram was acting up, I think.
Yeah.
Luckily, my dog's being chill so far, so I don't have to.
What you guys sipping on? Bloody Mary and
this is
sour,
actually
like a little mojito, no cucumber.
So this is actually okay. Go ahead, Big Sarge.
I don't know who was asking, so I got like stuff in the bottom of mine, so I presumed it was me. This is a gin gimlet. It's my typical drink for stream. Sometimes on rare occasion I'll have like a whole red wine thing going on. That's about it though. Like, I'm not really a big beer drinker.
I'm actually drinking a fruited sour ale from a local brewery nearby me. So
Very nice.
This one has guava, peach, tangerine, and marshmallow.
Marshmallow. How's that? You taste the marshmallow?
You had me until the marshmallow, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Don't knock it till you try it. It's really good. It's really good.
I hope so. I mean, I like marshmallows, but with my s'mores or my hot chocolate, not with.
I don't know if you're ever in Campbell, Pennsylvania, Evergreen Brewing Company. Very, very good brewery.
Probably order it online. I bet it's in cans, right?
Yeah, it's canned. I don't know what their distribution's like, but
I'm getting distracted. We gotta stay on topic.
Yeah, we gotta walk back in.
So you're running for Tom Tillis's seat because Tom Tillis wants
retiring
or doesn't want to be in the party of MAGA anymore. I guess I don't know. I bet he's going to run for governor. I bet.
Maybe so. Yeah.
So you're hoping to score his seat, and without looking at your website, what does the average person need to know about like the top 3, maybe 4 things that you want to accomplish as a U.S. senator?
to vote on things that bring money from aiding Israel back to home. There's billions of dollars. The lion's share of money that's being wasted is going abroad to Israel, and Israel is bringing us down, bringing us in these wars, oppressing people in the Middle East. And so if we could redirect that money back home, we've given them in North Carolina, we've given them $432 million since October 2023. And that money could greatly help affordable housing, child care subsidies, quality education, human health care, and free public higher education. And that's America we deserve, and it's America we can afford if we stop spending $2 billion a day trying to fight Iran, or just put $1 trillion into our military budget. So if we just redirect those things that are really, padding the wallets of these large tech companies and military industrial complex companies. And also I want to put a halt on data centers, save our environment from all that in North Carolina. Because they're going to try to get American taxpayers to pay for that. But the payback for that is not going to be extra jobs or extra internet service. It's actually going to deplete us in our energy. I mean, you're here in North Carolina, Big Sarge. Remember earlier this winter that Duke Energy asked us to conserve our energy or something during a certain portion of the, because they couldn't maybe hold up the grid. So I don't understand why they think they can add even more with these data centers. And so that's another thing. And really a thing that I feel could help our community as a North Carolina and United States community is look into our history and our America's history, how we have wronged the minorities, namely the Black community. And North Carolina being a southern state, there's Confederate soldiers celebrated at our Capitol. That is, in my mind, a disrespect, and it flies in the face of Black people here in the 21st century, bringing up real tragic times when they used to lynch young kids and hang them during their picnics. And learning more about this oppression, I think reparations is something that's deserved and something that needs to turn our moral compass over to, and instead of exporting violence abroad, stop that bleeding that's draining us of money and blood, and bring it back home. Take that money and bring it back and atone for our sins here at home, and do reparations to families that have been held back, exploited for their labor, and not allowed to participate in a free economy for years and years and years. And then they built their economy and had that stolen and taken from them through racist laws. So those are some three large directions or approaches that I want to bring. And as enigmatic as those all might seem, we can figure out a way to put those in action. And those are just where my heart goes. I think so. Those are kind of some ideas that I have.
Dude, are you sure you used to be a Republican? Like, Jesus.
Well, when you turn around hard.
Yeah. No, I'm actually very, very curious, like how that turnaround happened, because it's such a stark 180 from like a typical Republican position, right? Like,
yeah, I know how mine happened.
Yeah, how'd yours happen, Big Sarge?
So I left the military in 2004, and then I turned around and I went to work for a private military company, a PMC, basically a mercenary. So my military career kind of ended, but then sort of didn't, because paramilitary is basically the same thing for certain things. And at that point in time, I was like, I don't want to vote for George Bush again. Like, this dude has just screwed everything up. And my big thing was Afghanistan. I didn't really care about Iraq. And I was like, I'm going to volunteer to go, because then that way it's not going to be some poor 18-year-old kid who's getting shot at who probably won't survive, whereas I probably will. And I disagreed with Bush on his whole stance about, oh, I don't care where bin Laden is. That was when I was like, I'm not voting for this guy again. But I was still a Republican, sort of, just because that was like how I had been raised. And then it was about 2007, I was pretty much had gotten a hold, was still wrestling with some demons, but had gotten a hold on. I had the upper hand. And I was working with Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, IAVA, doing a lot of lobbying stuff and participating in a lot of their stuff. And I got politically motivated. And 2007, there was a lot of legislation on the table for veteran bills, and they were Democrat sponsored. And something that people don't know is that while you get a lot of money for the military because of Republicans, you get a lot of money for the VA because of Democrats. And so there were like 11 or 12 bills, and these were all kind of, I don't want to say revolutionary, but they were very novel in their approach. How to treat PTSD, how to fund studies to not over medicate veterans, and deal with the actual issues instead of just turning them into chemical zombies, so to speak. And they all got shot down by the Tea Party. Every single one shot down by the Tea Party. And I was like, fuck this party, I'm out. And that was it. And then the next year, I was like, I'm going to vote for Barack Obama, because I wanted to vote for John McCain, but he had Sarah Palin. And the first time Sarah Palin opened her mouth, I was like, nope. And that was it for me. So that was me. What about you?
I got you, man. My wife had the same experience with Sarah Palin opening her mouth. We were watching it. I was at the fire station. She was watching it at home. And I was like, sounds pretty cool. And she was like, barf. Like, oh my God. So I voted Trump in 2016. She voted, who was it in 2016? Clinton. And no.
I remember because I voted from boot camp.
Okay. Wait, no, 2016 was, not right now.
Oh, are you talking about like primary or what?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't recall.
It was Trump versus Hillary Clinton for the general.
Yeah, you're right, Clinton. I'm sorry, I was thinking Bill.
The primary was Bernie Sanders, and
no, you're right. And so we canceled each other out, and then the next election we just took one Aaron off our list, so we just didn't vote because we were gonna cancel each other out again. So I was just like I was just traumatized from I jokingly say traumatized from my own parents because they were Republicans, and I was just like following along with their example. I love my parents. They were smart. I'm just going to do what they did. They must have been right. But then after that, I just really saw the injustice violently applied to the Palestinians. I had my own military experience where we occupied Iraq and forcefully overkill. I mean, they didn't have a chance. I mean, we steamrolled them, and I was an LAV, and we had a military advantage, and just seeing it all again brought out this experience again, and just I could not place it in a political, in any type of a political party that was like endorsing it or supporting it. And so, like I said, the Green Party was actually a voice against that. And so that's where I was at. I was disillusioned. I wasn't into any of the government. I was kind of relinquished to not voting at all or just losing. And then I found my voice with the pro-Palestinian group and found my fight within that group against that injustice. And so that's kind of how I just turned my back on the Republicans and the Democrats and all that stuff.
I like it. Now, you mentioned your wife kind of called you out about Sarah Palin. How long has she lived in North Carolina?
She was born here.
I have a follow-up question. She was born here. Okay. So your wife is Palestinian American.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a picture of her. Does she have a Southern accent?
She is, she could talk in one. Her father definitely does. So yeah, I mean, they're just normal folks, man. They're just totally normal folks. We love Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. She likes Godsmack. I'm going to see Godsmack this summer with my brother. But she's also like 90s girl where she likes En Vogue and Janet Jackson and Whitney Houston. That's her jams growing up. So we're both in our 40s, and so she's just normal, man. She's normal, and she just started covering, and that's kind of just the next step that people take in their religious path. It kind of makes it more of a physical part of, or like a reminder to keep you on the right path. Yeah. And it's obvious there's some obvious things that just takes on in your life. It's not some oppressive thing. She definitely chose to do that herself.
Right.
It's not as if I'm like, oh, you got cover or whatever. And so anyway, so I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the Muslim, Islam, and it's really being exploited to justify this war. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm trying to like break those stigmas and misconceptions and just try to say, hey, man, I'm your friend. I'm your guy. I haven't changed. I'm not trained. And so I tried to like express that, but people are so scared and traumatized by this war on terror and the villainization of Muslims through 9/11 and beyond that it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to overcome when it's been decades and decades of, who's the bad guy in the film? It's the Muslim guy. Who's the bad guy on the, FBI TV show? It's the Muslim terrorist. And it's the recurring role over and over again, to the point where your subconscious mind accepts this narrative that is the only way to see these people. And we see it in the tweets recently. I forget the representative's name, pardon me, who basically called for the removal of Muslims in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys know who I'm talking about.
It's some Republican dipshit. It's like,
look, if I would say it's some Republican dipshit, that doesn't narrow it down a whole lot right now.
No, it's like, that's all.
I tell you specifically, it's one that keeps posting AI images of himself as a crusader and
oh my
all this
God,
other dumb shit.
That doesn't narrow it down either, though. To be honest
well,
with you.
that's fair. That's fair.
But I think there's a lot of salience to what you're talking about, Brian. There, like, with like so much of like hate gets fostered because of like lack of exposure. I live in York, Pennsylvania. It's a pretty fucking, it's Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's all white people, right? So like, I live in areas where like there's not a lot of Muslims, and there's not even a lot of black folks. Like where I went to high school, like there's a lot more black folks that live in like York City, but not quite where I live, all that stuff. And or like, I'm queer, right? Like I'm bisexual and I'm trans as well, right? There's a lot of uphill battles there for recognizing our humanity and our reality in the same kind of way, just because like we don't have a lot of great queer spaces too. Like, and it's so I guess just kind of what I'm getting at is I appreciate how much emphasis you put on that, because I think that's one of the most important things to defeating oppression is just exposing people to how like people different than you are still just normal fucking people.
Yes, I grew up the same way in a rural town in Illinois. Not a lot of diversity. I never really met too many Muslims, knew too many Jewish people, or any diversity, to be honest. And so, yeah, I had a lot of catching up to do and exposing myself to. And I agree with you, man. It's just a matter of what you see on TV, speaking for these people, creating a big idea of fear in your mind when you've really never met these people in real life. And then when you do, you realize they are just like you, man. And it's the example with my wife. She is the youngest of, she has two older sisters and a brother, and she's a girl. I'm a boy, obviously, and I have two older brothers and a sister, and she's got a conservative Muslim family. I'm a conservative Christian family. And when we met in that dynamic, I was like, there's no way she's going to hell just because her family is just like mine, and there's no, line in the book of the Bible. And I just don't believe God is holding somebody condemning them to hell because they just don't believe in what the Christians believe, which would be Jesus is your savior. And I know this is going to sound so blasphemous as soon as I start saying this to some people, but it's just
see it through.
I'm just saying.
Speak your truth, brother.
I don't think God is like that. I think God's bigger than all that, and I think a lot of these constructs are man-made for control and just making people bow down, and all the awesome lyrics that are in these songs that you sing, Sarge, just making us weak and bootlicking and just corralling us into that pen rather than letting us be the independent thinkers and critical thinkers we all can be.
Well, if you get your populace to be unquestioning and obedient, then it makes things easier for the ruling class every time. It doesn't matter if it's today or 1,000 years ago. It's religion can be used as a tool of control, and some rather evil examples are out there in this world, unfortunately.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Christian Zionists there's more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. And a lot of my families are just very, they're throwing their hands up to believe this is a Bible prophecy. And, the Middle East is where the Jews are supposed to come back for the Messiah to come back. And then the Jews think a whole different thing. And either way, I've seen the politics and the infrastructure or the mechanics of this genocide, and it's killing little children. I've seen videos of it, and it's heartbreaking. So I just cannot make the application of this is part of God's plan. I think we don't need to, I think people have just, for obvious sakes, don't want to look into these things, don't want to witness all this barbarism. I don't want to either, but I do so that I speak out, so I know what I can speak against. So I get why people avoid this, because they want to hold on to their mental tranquility. But our world is small now. It's irresponsible, and we're being complicit. If we don't say anything, we would want people to speak up for us. If we were getting, taken out like this in America, we would want the globe to, reach out and say something about it and rally behind us. So it's do unto others as you would do to you. I mean, there's some great things in religion. There's some great structures and framework to hang your hats on. So I'm not trying to, devalue all of them or any of them. I just think some people really focus on the negative aspects and are leveraging it to justify, murder, and it's horrible. I don't think that's what religion's for.
Yeah, like it's one thing if you're religious, you go to church. My family's Catholic; they're pretty chill people, right? It's one thing if you're like that. It's another thing if you're like fucking Mike Huckabee and you're a Christian Zionist and you want to bring the Jews back to Israel, whether they want to or not, and genocide all the Palestinians and Iranians and Lebanese folks, so you could start the end of the fucking world.
Yeah,
these people terrify me.
Yeah, I know. Mike Huckabee is supposed to be I remember watching him throughout the years. He's such a simple, nice-spoken type of guy. But he was in Tucker Carlson, just saying he believes the Greater Israel Project should be going is justified, and if people can see the mechanics of Israel's takeover and their cruelty, I've always thought maybe peace is the way, but I finally learned that violent resistance is the way. If Hamas, who has been villainized as well, didn't stand up for the Palestinians and cause this delay and this massive steamroller of Israeli military force, then it would have happened so quick they could have kept it a secret. But because it's been drawn out, it's given an opportunity for people to look at it, see it, and process it, and develop their own critical opinions and say, this is not right. And so I see the value in resistance. I think it takes all types of approaches, being peaceful, because we can't you have to speak peacefully and in a controlled manner, but also when you're faced with certain death, you've got to resist too. And so anyway, I just kind of see my eyes have been opening so much in these horrible times. It's just crazy to process.
I think there's pardon me. I think there's few topics that get us more hate mail than anytime we share an article on the current state of affairs in Israel, Gaza, Lebanon, and what's going on there. And man, if the story is not positive for Israel in any way, shape, or form, no matter how irrefutably documented it is, we just get an absolute river of fire every time. I have been through this whole weekend just taking fire from people because talking about the Israeli
something about Israel and all.
yeah. Turns out it's kind of a touchy subject.
So also all the bot armies,
that's a bot.
Once you get those keywords in there, all these profiles with 1 or 0 friends show up.
Yeah,
and they've got the exact same thing to copy and paste in the comments over and over again. Yeah,
it's their eighth. It's their eighth arm of their military. They've said this. They took over TikTok. Benjamin Netanyahu spread that specifically to a group of influencers. They've geofenced 4 countries in our Southwest. Around churches to send these people Israeli propaganda. That was all disclosed in the FARA Act. They're doing some real huge projects to keep the narrative in the info war. They got a lot of hard projects on the info war front, and so they know that they're losing it. And I see that trajectory, and I've been depressed, and I still am, about the losses and the killings that have been happening. But I'm just holding on to hope, because what else do we have? That the tide is turning, and I think people are starting to wake up to say no to the abuse of power that's going on in the Middle East. And I don't mean that to take any to go against the troops of America or go against our country. It's all against our administration. They're the ones that are making these decisions, and that's where I aim my discontent.
I always like to think that the audience is sophisticated enough to understand the differences between these things. That one religion is not one nation is not one religion, one group of people or ethnicity are not only the sum total of the most negative of their representatives, whether it's Jewish, Muslim, Christian, whatever. And we do get these bot floods around certain other keywords. Like we put up anything about Russia going into Ukraine and the atrocities there, and we get a river of flame every time, which is funny because you would think that most of our pushback would be from MAGA, and because we roast Trump every single day. Every single day we've got, but it's not really that hard either. There is a new news story, sometimes multiple news stories every day of the stupid things he's done that are going to fuck up our country for years to come, and we draw attention to it, and we get MAGA pushing back, fake news, it's not happening, Iran declared war on us, this absolute nonsense shit show. But it's so clear what keywords and what things are so focused within the PR firms that run these bot farms that are hired by government, political parties, etc., to target things. And it's not just the ones we've named. There's a lot of government organizations out there that have pushed this kind of social media astroturfing to try to convince people that what they're seeing and the opinions they're seeing are actually the opinions of the neighbors around them. And you'll particularly see this in local news comment sections. A lot of accounts that have no background to them, that have no history to them, that are all, posting as though they're a resident of whatever that town happens to be. But they've got a really strong opinion on how Russia deserves Ukraine, or the Palestinians brought this on themselves, or, if you don't want to be shot by ICE, you should stay at home.
Yeah.
And it's always the exact same talking points. It is not a creative space. Now, maybe with generative AI, it eventually gets to be harder to pick up and detect. But especially for us, since we're social media admins for these accounts, we see the same thing in our comment section, just blah, 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 every single day.
It's crazy too that it goes down to like a weirdly low level. Like I don't do much with the social media side of SOL, right? But so I don't actually open Facebook almost ever.
It's awful. Don't.
It's awful. But like I don't have Twitter or anything like that. But like I go on like a subreddit for like trans issues or something like that, and you can see just tons of bot comments, like hurling slurs around and everything like that. It's bizarre how so many of these bot swarms are targeted at such a low level to both astroturf this stuff and just to make people's lives worse.
Think about how much money gets put into it, how much financing has to go into that. None of the professional organizations that do this as part of PR and marketing, just to be clear, these organizations that take care of these things and push this kind of messaging are agnostic in terms of messaging. They're happy to do it for whoever's going to pay them the most money. They're just blasting it out like a shotgun. But someone's paying them. Someone's paying them a substantial amount of money to run these servers, to run these bots, to push all these things into social media, to generate new accounts, and to target it down depending on, like you were saying, with their geofencing, to target the specific things around a particular church or a particular newspaper in that town or whatever the case may be, because they want you to think that the people around you think like whatever this narrative is that they've been paid to push, because it's effective. It's very effective at convincing you, because at face value, we see the voices in the comments section as equal. We see them as real voices at face value. So when there's 90 of them in there, all typing the same thing, it never occurs to us, objectively, it doesn't occur to us that they're not real. It just looks like, oh my God, everyone hates this thing, or everyone's against X, Y, and Z. It's hard for you to dig past that, because your immediate reaction to the vitriol and the hatred is to pull away, like it's hot. You just no, what? Yeah, I don't want to engage in there. I don't have to talk with these idiots. It drives away people who might be counter to whatever narrative they're trying to push. And that's how they take over social media space. And I'm not telling you anything that hasn't been well documented and written about for well over a decade now. And it continues to happen because it's really effective.
Man, I think you just did an amazing job of explaining that and explaining the psychological effect it has on people. And it's hard enough for people to make it this, make ends meet for their family or whatever. So I get that people don't have a lot of time to, pour through the comments or do that pattern recognition. As one of the ladies said on the chats, pattern recognition saves lives. But people don't even have the opportunity to do that because they're so busy just trying to make ends meet. And so it is effective. I'm sad to agree with you there. It is effective, but it's artificial. It's costing money. And so, like the South African apartheid, I think that ended up losing money because they couldn't afford it anymore. And so I hope that that's another angle that can drain the situation. Hey guys, quiet. So I hope that can happen too.
Well, it's an extension of their flood the zone tactics that we see the Trump administration engaged in, because they're copying the Hungarian model where it worked very well for Viktor Orban to come to power, which was to put out so many terrible stories that, again, we pull back, we don't engage. They make things worse, so we focus internally on take care of ourselves, right? We triage. What's the most important thing to me? My family, my spouse, my pets, my home. Once we're focused in, they have more freedom to do it without, because there's less eyes on them. And it's really hard to tell someone, hey, you got to pay attention to this bill that's coming up because they're going to do X, Y, and Z with it. Well, that person's busy thinking about, if I don't get this many hours of overtime this week, I'm not going to be able to afford to make the mortgage.
Yes.
And you can't even compete in that space. I mean, that is life and death things for people.
Yes.
And they know why they run it to be shitty, because you cannot get ahead of this. You cannot rally people to be like, hey, this is awful shit. We should oppose this.
It's manipulated.
And you know, there's a lot of talk on the left about how, you know, Republicans and fascists and alt-righters tend to lack empathy. But I think like that's part of how that lack of empathy is manufactured, right? Because they don't. Because like Brian, your story of how you turned your back on the Republican Party, that's rooted in, you know, extreme empathy. It's rooted in seeing other people as people, right? And the more that they can limit and force you to look inward, the less that they'll, you know, less people will be able to look outside of themselves and be like, Palestinian people are people, Iranian people are people, trans people are people, black people are people.
Yes, and I think I say I was Republican. It was just very surface understanding of what Republican was.
For sure, yeah.
My parents and also the social crowds that I was with. It was just a very surface. Yeah, sure, Republican. Okay, I love heavy metal. I love working blue collar jobs and those type of people. And so it was a very surface understanding. But I wasn't stepping on anybody. And then I slowly saw the fixation on deregulation and no taxing and this is, and then the narrative that this is to spur on more employment and working and all that kind of stuff, as that's where their focus is. And it's not that they're ignoring humanity, they're just so focused in belief that a good economy will bring all ships up. They think that that's the way to solve problems. Meanwhile, they're blind to all the suffering that's happening with a lot of marginalized groups, and just turning around and seeing the suffering of the marginalized groups, seeing how the system exploits them, and seeing that stand out more than this privileged mindset or privileged set of responsibilities with just wanting to deregulate things so you can work easier. That compared to the struggles of those that are really struggling, just there's no comparison. The disparity is outrageous. And so, like I said, once I was able to turn around and see that, there's no looking back. I mean, the first world problems and then these real suffering issues, it's just, that's where help needs to be given. And with the amount of waste we're putting out there with our government, it's ridiculous. And so we need to just get it to the people who need it. And I don't think there's any kind of just some conversational issue that's going to change my mind there. It's just it's too big of a disparity to say, I don't care if they're what you are trying to claim they are, how they're trying to villainize them. They're people and they're struggling, and you would probably be disgruntled too if you were in their situation. And just the distance and and how people miss each other. The Republicans and Democrats miss each other. They talk about the different issues. It's all manufactured and to nullify any progress. And I'm tired of it, and I think many others are. And so.
So getting back to that and the big uphill road you have ahead of yourself to climb on this Senate race, how are you engaging so far with on the campaign trail?
Well, I think Roy Cooper's got the lion's share of funding from AIPAC and any type of medical company and big donors. He's their horse. Michael Watley, Cooper's got $350,000 worth of AIPAC money. Hey guys, Malik, quiet. Sorry about them. Are they loud in the background? Or
a little bit, yeah. But I mean, let
me tell them.
A happy family's a happy family,
Somebody gonna get yelled at. Hey, I'm gonna go refresh my beverage, so I'll be back in a minute and a half.
Okay, I'll permit it. I have actually no authority whatsoever. I'll pretend I do.
So Cooper's got all the money, and they're betting on him. Watley has only received $50,000 with AIPAC. So I think that AIPAC's only got so much money to play on all these midterms. So I think they think Cooper's going to win, so they're just giving him some assistance. So that's who I'm going to really try to attack and oppose and get into his advertising or campaign strategy and try to turn it inside out on him and try to expose that he is already resisting or refusing his constituents' wishes, which is the state Democrats have passed a bill called Resolution Number 1, which would stop funding Israel with military funds. And Cooper and the governor Josh Stein have already said they are not going to acknowledge it. And hopefully the state Democrats push further and they capitulate to that. But that's already their stance there. Josh Stein is a Jewish man. He's the first Jewish governor of North Carolina. I'm not saying that's why he is tabling that, but that could be it. But I also want to make this opportunity to say I have zero anti-Semitism in my body. I have zero hatred for Jewish people. Jews are actually my most valuable ally in this fight to save Palestinians, because there's many Jews that speak out against the violence that Palestinians face, and I think their voice is one of the more valuable ones in this fight. So it's the Zionists. It's a political ideology. That's where my vitriol lies. That the people that believe what's happening is right and children dying in Palestine is necessary. That's where that's who I really oppose. So in no way do I think Josh Stein being Jewish is something that I have any anger towards. I don't know why he is. I think it's more because he's bought out as a Democratic part of this, controlled opposition, is why he's opposing that. Somebody's pulling his string and telling him he must, because Israel is the golden calf that nobody can speak against, and they must, they're everything apparently. So it's going to take a hard takeover. You have to draw a hard line in the sand against this very strong present group, this force in America, and they depend highly on America for this, for their existence and for their military gain. And they've got us to now, fight in Iran, and I'm very concerned about nuclear warfare. I heard somebody in the White House has talked about how they're trying to normalize nuclear weapons being used, and I don't see how they're going to back out of that with the rhetoric that comes from Trump, which is so far from reality. I think he's just trying to carry a story forward, and once Iran shows too much positive resistance, then we're going to just fall into using nuclear weapons. I'm afraid. I think that's where we're going. I think the escalation isn't showing any signs of stopping, but who knows?
It's hard to say, though. It was very concerning to see the number of top generals that Hegseth has removed, and it's very clear that this stems from a disagreement between him and them on how to proceed with the war. Now, is that a ground invasion? Is that use of nukes? Is that some other third option that we're unaware of? We don't know, because we're not privy to those conversations. But something is underfoot. That Trump and his gang of clowns has decided, all right, we'll just remove the military officers who refuse to go along with whatever dumbass idea we have. I mean, they're really thinking about landing on Carg Island still, and they would have to sail the entire invasion group nearly 400 miles through waters that Iran can hit with their drones and anti-ship missiles. Over 50% of their launchers are still in operation. That's a slaughter. That's a slaughter, even for a Navy as well-trained, well-equipped, and well-disciplined as ours. It's just shoot enough bullets at something, eventually you're going to hit it.
And I honestly like the disagreement Hegseth had with these generals. It could be as simple as, these generals just not being fully genocidal. I mean, we've seen a lot of the rhetoric Hegseth has, about the war in Iran, calling it a holy war. He's been on record saying kill all Muslims. Like he's got fucking neo-Nazi, neo-Crusader tattoos. Like He's very clearly like a genocidal freak.
Yeah, you don't get crusader shit on your body.
You don't get that cross unless
unless
you
you have specific beliefs.
Yeah.
You didn't just see that in a movie and we're like, that'd be cool if I put that on me.
Yeah. I know you get that permanently on your body. It's going to have some type of mental effect. I can't back down now. I have to represent.
It's wild to see. It's wild to see at this level of power. It's wild to see wielding the awesome might and power of the United States military, and to be doing it so incompetently. Good men and women are paying the price in blood for their incompetence. To what? To what objective? How does this benefit the United States? Exactly. And I, I'm not going to say the Iranian government aren't bad guys, but what point was this? What did this serve?
Yeah, I mean,
how is this worth the lives of the American service members who have been killed?
Yeah, I mean, the fucking Fox News dumb shit host can say, "Oh, we support the Iranian regime because we're opposed to war all they want." But
that is the talking point they've locked into.
But at the end of the day, how does blowing up a school help the Iranian people? It doesn't.
Yeah, militarism isn't going to solve social issues.
How many times in history have we successfully invaded a country, changed their regime, and had things actually turn out for the better for their people? Because from my understanding, it's zero. Libya, they're fucked. Iraq, ISIS. Afghanistan, Taliban's still there. Vietnam, we failed Vietnam.
I did them back in.
Yeah,
like we
right?
spent 20 years over there fighting and kicking the shit out of them. And we're like, you know what? Let's just give it back to them.
Yeah, like this has not been. The United States has never done this successfully in a way that has ever made anybody's lives any better, except for fucking oil barons and oligarchs and the goddamn Epstein class.
Yes,
you'd honestly have to go back to World War II, and that was it. That's it.
Yeah, all right. I can give you that one.
And there's nothing else. And you can look at, whether it's Vietnam or Afghanistan or Iraq, where the U.S. military effectively wins every major engagement. No question. Every big fight. And still loses the overall conflict. Because it's not simply about the military might. And that's what they never seem to get, is there has to be a political side to it that actually builds something in its place. You can't just bulldoze through and just hope whatever grows next is going to be friendly and work out the way we want, because that's magic thinking.
It's like Mormons' fucking magic underwear.
Yeah, I think it's all been to help Israel be able to weaken the surrounding countries of their region and help them be able to proliferate as they are now without having much resistance through the countries surrounding them. Saddam Hussein had a strong military. Saudi Arabia is bought out somehow. I don't know where they go, and I know some Saudi Arabian people, and they said it's very a-religious. It's they act religious, and the king acts religious in a formal manner, but the way people live is very materialistic and not a lot of heart. It's just that could be a generalization, and from what people I know, so I don't put too much stock in that one. But still, they've America's greatly destroyed a lot of the countries around that way, and I think that's for Israel, and Israel's got a large influence on our government. They pour a lot of money into that, and so that's the reasoning behind all this, so that they can do what they're doing right now, and so that's why I see the reason for all this. And we got hindsight. Hindsight's 2020, 25 years of these wars. We can make these. I think it's appropriate to make these assessments at this point. So I think we should be confident in our opinions.
Yeah.
Over are these clowns in the government are telling us.
I have two minds when it comes to an overarching narrative on it. In that one, on the one hand, it looks like it does end up with a net benefit to Israel. But on the other, I do not see our government capable of playing that big of a theater piece along. Like they're so fucking incompetent at the little things. They can certainly go off on that grand crusade to try to pull it off, but they fuck up the little details left and right. Like, all right, we're ready for the ground invasion with the troops we forgot to send to the Middle East. No one in the room said anything about that. No one for, you assume months lead up of planning. We assume there's months lead up of planning. There may not have been any planning, but no one thought of these things. No one thought of moving
I'm actually pretty
strategic
sure
stores for interceptor missiles out of range of Iranians' first strike missiles. No one thought of making sure that their defenses were better prepared for drones, given the lessons we've seen in Ukraine. I mean, we were, up until recently, getting all the intel from Ukraine until they found out that it was being given by the Trump administration back to the Russians, so they had to change that. Like, these are not huge things. I'm one of our civilians on staff, and I've not lived a military life, but it is readily apparent to me that these are fundamental things that military minds will absolutely know. But somehow this was not done in the lead up for this.
Oh, man. I'm actually pretty sure, Matt, that there's been leaks that indicated there was zero planning for Iran.
Well, there were definitely leaks indicating.
Yeah. Despite, again, setting aside the fact that us being involved in Iran is just a crime against humanity. Like, I've seen some of the pictures of the Tehran oil refineries on fire, and it looks like what Christians tell me hell's supposed to look like, right? It's harrowing.
Yeah. And
the sheer incompetence is just going to create even more bodies. It's going to create more dead civilians. It's going to create dead troops. It
is, and they're more than happy to send American troops into that meat grinder without even bothering to prepare for it. Because in the end, more casualties works for their narrative.
Yeah.
It'll anger more people. It'll get more people on the side of, well, now we've got to strike back. Now we've got to do this thing. And it becomes a self-feeding thing.
Yes. I know. I know. That's tragic and disgusting and horrible. And just the cycle has to stop. We got to have pattern recognition and say no more and don't feed this anymore. And it's horrible, man. It's just enough, man. Guys, be quiet, please.
Tim, you're muted.
Nothing of value was lost.
I have a control key to mute my microphone. I'll turn it off so that, like, as everybody else is talking, I'm not over here like. I wanted to ask you about your headgear there, because I'm asking all the zany questions. So everybody else is doing the serious stuff, and
I just received this today from Palestinian Hustle. They're a clothing brand, and they sent me a big box of t-shirts and bandanas, and so I threw this on and felt like this just kind of gives you a rock and roll type of feeling, so I just kept it on for the show. It's a keffiyeh pattern, Palestinian pattern. So yeah.
I recognize the pattern. I just wanted to, everybody else that wasn't up to speed on that.
There was a good question in the chat like forever ago that I don't want to get super buried.
You're never gonna find it. So
I already found it. Leave little faith.
Okay, well,
yeah. Right. Corporals make things happen. All right.
Okay. All right.
But sentient object in the chat. He asked Brian, "Are you pressing charges or suing Brian Shee breaking your arm? He had no legal authority to lay a hand on you, and he's got a long history of fucking over other veterans."
Yeah, I can't make any comments there. Just because of legal purposes. But he was well out of his authority in involving himself in that situation. So yeah, man. We all as individuals can handle things and compartmentalize, but the way he affected my wife and her, just her sadness or concern from all this, and the fact that I went to a hospital and couldn't talk to her for multiple days, it stressed her out very bad. So those are the things that really kind of fuel my anger towards his actions and his pompous attitude. He was giving me a lecture. I see in the video. I didn't hear anything he said. I was curious. I'm curious to what he was saying. And then
I couldn't make it out, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a Navy SEAL, so I can tell you how that went. Brian, you got to buy my vitamins and my hair care products, and you got to read my book that I wrote. I'm a Navy SEAL. It's ghostwritten, but it's my work. It's clean up the lettering and the spelling.
So I paid somebody to write a book about how I shot children that I didn't actually shoot.
There it was. Thanks for filling in that gap, man. That's awesome.
I respect Navy SEALs for their prowess at Navy SEAL luring, but if you hang around Navy SEALs long enough, and I'm sure Marines have more stories than I do.
I fortunately don't.
They'll tell you about how much they bench, how much is on the weight pile, and how much of the weight pile they have successfully moved. And then they'll tell you about their hair care products that they have. They have an endorsement with so and so, and they're going to have this whole line. They'll have their own workout regimen, workout videos. Their own GNC powder.
Yeah.
And then their books.
Yeah.
I wrote books.
I just recently got connected with Dan Bilzerian, speaking of Navy SEALs, and he went through 2 hell weeks, and so I asked him if cold water ever became numb, or he became used to it. He was like, no, it didn't. But now he does cold plunges 3 times a day. So it's funny. He said the way your mind sees things is very integral to how you respond. So, if he could have thought about how the cold water was like, reducing his inflammation or doing good things for his mind or releasing dopamine or something like that, you could kind of maybe handle it a little bit better. But still, you got to respect the level of suffering that those guys endure.
I gotta call bullshit on that though, because I went to Defense Language Institute actually several times, and I had Navy SEALs in my class all the time, and they said that they just cluster together. They all drink like a gallon of water before they get in the water, and so they all cluster together. You know where this is going, right? You know where this is going. When they're in the water, that thing heats up, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna take turns."
So that's just
turns.
That's just
That's
using
smart.
human biology
That's
to your advantage, all right?
Yeah,
I can't tell.
Water. What does it matter?
Because
somebody's peeing on me. Well, I'm in the water. What does it matter?
Who cares?
it's
salt water.
smart,
Who cares?
but it also
Just
feels
drink it.
like one of those stories the special forces people tell everyone else. Because I've got a few of them from the Green Beret friends that you guys have met that they're like, I'm pretty sure they just made that up because I'm a civilian. All that sounded like bullshit.
They're not with civilians. This actually, I heard this from several different guys at different points in the schooling. So
Hey, run the
it wasn't
big start.
like,
Here's what we're telling you.
yeah.
That's hilarious. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard it
Yeah.
either. but-
No, I haven't heard that.
It makes
before
sense
either.
though, because like
I
if
mean,
I'm
it does.
swimming in the cold water and I'm like, dang, it's really cold. I think I'm gonna. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
it
I
works.
never met any Navy SEAls while I was in, so I never got to hear any stories like that.
Really?
I did. Well, I was a reservist, so I don't meet anybody. But
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, there were some MARSOC guys who threw rocks at us while I was on watch at MCT once. That was kind of funny. So,
Your own side is trolling you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, come on. If you're a MARSOC guy, you see a dumb shit PFC at Camp Geiger standing with no magazine in the middle of the night, I'd throw rocks at him too.
You say, halt. Who is there? Who goes there?
Yeah. Prepare to be identified or whatever the fuck.
If that were me, I'd be like, no, you halt. You advance to be recognized. Put your ID card on the ground and back up 10 paces. And I would just start messing with you. Just everything that you said, I'd say it right back to you and be like, but in a more superior tone of voice.
Then you got the guys that lock and load, and they all come out and they're like, all right, just. We had some guys who were very high strung and took their guard duty very seriously. You never know.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I was an MP, field MP, because I was a reservist. So I only did like 2 weeks of PMO my entire career. Thank God, PMO was awful. But like there was a story one guy that we were with had where like he was on the gate and it was, I think it was a full bird. Forgot his ID. And he was given this Lance Corporal shit, like, because, you know, reservists don't even get badges if you're an MP. It's stupid. But he's given this like Lance Corporal shit. And he's like, oh, you're going to have a badge or whatnot. And then like a blueberry that was on staff just walks up with the M1014 and be like, sir, you got to go back and get your ID.
Nice. You got to follow the rules.
Right?
I would 100% play fuck games with any officer above the rank.
Oh my God.
Like,
it would have been great. I didn't get to
my shit with no.
The only reason I didn't do that on that AT was because I was on permanent night shift because I got a terrible sunburn in California because I'm pasty as fuck. And Gunny was like, "You're on night shift forever," and I'm like, "Okay, Gunny."
Looking out for
you got two options. I can give you Article 15
for
for damaging government property. Right. Or you can just be on nights the rest of your life.
That's pretty much that, yeah.
We would always just space out on our walks through the sidewalk and, you know, make them salute a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, that was always fun.
We did that too, and then they started getting wise, and they'd all like as a group it was almost like a cartoon. You just see like this whole body of them. They just and they would go in a different direction. They would dogleg it through the parking lot. Like, why are you guys over at that minivan?
I had a warrant officer when I was in Gitmo, and she would just take her cover off when we all did that.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, I'm playing that shit."
Oh yeah, yep. Great times, man. Good times. Best times I never want to do again.
Yeah.
People be like, "Oh, do you miss the military?" And I'm like, "No." I'll tell you what I miss, and that's my buddies and
I miss shooting 50 cals.
My buddies.
Yeah.
I miss shooting weapons.
Yeah. I miss the 240.
I don't miss the whole getting up at 5 a.m. and having to shave before I go to PT every single day and having to do PT where somebody's idea of getting physically fit was let's do push-ups, sit-ups, and run. I don't miss any of that.
Yeah.
I don't miss the dog and pony shit. And when you think about it, you're like, I had a good time, but I had a good time doing this like one or two different things.
Yeah.
And then the myriad other 150 things.
Yeah. I was a young, gullible guy, and so I would, fall in love with my high school coaches. They were everything to me. And then my drill instructors in boot camp, they were polished. Of course, most drill instructors are just amazing, like examples of, efficiency and sharpness and physical strength or whatever. So I fell in love with them. And then when I went to and then instructors, they're pretty tough and good. And But then when you go to your unit, you kind of you fall into underneath some just regular old dudes, and I was kind of demystified and like, this guy is not all that, and I'm supposed to listen to him and follow his orders, and he's just being a dickhead about it. Just it's just like the caliber of your NCOs or COs really, I don't know, was a big factor for me. And it's just kind of like when you got a guy who's not that, impressive, and you've been, around a bunch of impressive leaders, that was hard to like play the game still and like take orders. And so I don't know, that was a little weirdness for me with going into the main fleet Marines.
Yeah, I think my like drive to stay got killed because they changed the promotion system. I got up in 23. I'm 27. I'm young as fuck, right? But they changed the promotion system, and it completely changed the way cutting scores work, and it became mathematically impossible for me to pick up sergeant. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm done.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
There's zero. I mean, you make fun out of the misery they put you in with your buds, like you said, Big Sarge. But I mean, it's really a no fun zone. I mean, I think Americans. I was in college, and I was in elementary education, so all my classmates were females, and I would do these college groups, and I was married at the time, so no, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. But anyway, all the girls, we were talking, and I said I was a Marine, and all the girls were like, "Oh, you're a Marine. That's so cool." And this one girl was like, "I hate Marines." And I was like, "You must live in Jacksonville or wherever a Marine Corps base is. You really know what it's like." And she did, of course. And so it's the idea of military guys is always so heroic and stuff, but in reality, we're a bunch of young, ignorant, wild ass dudes who just cause trouble and drink too much whenever we get a chance, and it's so that's the reality versus the facade.
And the fundamental, the shitty part that it sucks to admit, but fundamentally, like, we were all young kids who got propagandized and brainwashed into willingly being a part of a terrible imperialist death machine that destroyed so many lives, right? Like, it's a hard thing to grapple with. It's a hard thing to sit down and look at. And but like there's a reality where you do have to acknowledge that. Yes,
I had to, and I think a lot of people run from it, and I ran for a long time. But like I said, I got an American Palestinian wife, and so that just was triggering me. I cannot not look away. But I see this guy, as you were a jester, says, "Did I Brian see the metal song Andre Artunis made of him?" And man, I did, and now I feel complete in life. I love metal, and I don't have any musical talent, but I feel like this is my way of contributing to metal.
We're gonna play it.
I haven't seen this. Wait, hold on one second. Let me grab another beer.
Get a beer. You haven't seen this? Now that's Jamie, right? Getting a drink?
Yeah.
That's Jamie. And then Big Sarge, I know you. And then what's the other gentleman's name?
I'm Matt.
Matt, got you. Cool.
He's currently hidden behind the
yes.
comment.
He's currently hidden.
All right, so
I am strategically
this is Andre
repositioned.
Artunis doing "This Is What Every Metal Song Should Be About Right Now," Volume 2. Let's see what we got. Let's crank the volume up here. Start it over. All right.
No one wants to fight for Israel. No one wants to fight for Israel. No one wants to fight for Israel. Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Free Israel. Your inability to name that. Show your impotence as leaders. This is wrong, and nobody wants to fight for Israel. This is wrong, and nobody wants to fight for Israel. Please stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel. No one wants to fight for Israel! Hallelujah!
So that did actually remind me of a question. I read in one article at the time that happened that the officers that were like trying to drag you out, some of them also had to be treated for injuries.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
You had some goddamn discipline in your body. Like you weren't like throwing hands or nothing. How the fuck did they get injured?
Good question.
That's what I want to know.
That's just them trying to stack the deck against me and paint the narrative, or that's what they used in a lot of the articles that talked about just trying to balance the story, make me look unhinged.
Yeah.
I think Tim Sheehy said that he hopes that I get the help that I need without causing any further violence. That was very disingenuous, and that's the kind of remark that really pisses somebody off, right? It's like, just call me an asshole, just call me a bitch. Don't say some backhanded comment like that.
Just call me a slur and call it a day. Like, just fucking move on.
Yeah.
There's a t-shirt.
I want to be there. I want to be there. If you have like guest passes and it's not taken up by your wife and family, if you have like one guest pass left over when you get sworn in and everything, and it's like your first day in the Senate building, I want one of those tickets just so I can be there to see all those shit talking bitch made beta cucks. And you come strolling in the building, you're like, "What's up, fellas? Remember me?" It's gonna be like Independence Day, like Randy Quaid's flying his jet right up the ass of that spaceship. He's like, "Hello, boys. Remember me?"
Sarge.
And it's you, and you're just like strolling in the building. They're like,
I mean,
I'm gonna need some backup, Big Sarge. I'm giving you the pass. You're walking with me, man.
You were a boxer, right? Like, start a Senate boxing league, dude.
Yes.
Senate boxing league.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh? Out of curiosity.
185.
Okay, so 185. So you're up there, but you're not like on the stacked beef bus end of things. You're fit. You're just not like.
I used to be real strong, man. I used to be really strong, but man, dad, time and life and getting older is just. I've kind of. Yeah. I can't. I try not to eat as much. I used to eat a lot just to get strong, but yeah, now really settling into more of a healthy, conscious type of life. And I'm a firefighter, so I try to keep my cardio going, and of course try to lift. But I've really slowed down a lot.
So the one thing that I noticed when I'm watching the video, and I'm trying not to do the like, I love to do the stack face. Whenever I hear a good riff, I'm like. That's the stack face. I'm all right. I gotta keep my cool because maybe that guy will see it. I don't know. I definitely want to like crop this section out and be like, hey, just to let you know, he was on our live stream and this was his reaction to your video. One thing that I noticed in that whole video, aside from all the other cool shit that was going on, was the fact that it took at least 2 Capitol Police, and they're like putting their hands in your face and they're like trying to do full Nelsons. And then like there was a third guy that shows up, and then like the Navy SEAL Latour guy runs over there, and they're saying you like locked in there, and they they had to manhandle you with more than it should have been necessary. Like, it should have took like one guy and then like maybe another guy to just kind of be like, okay. But no, that's embarrassing. Like, how embarrassing for them. What's up, buddy?
He's okay. Yeah, man. I think I think they could have probably won me over with saying, "Excuse me, sir, this is out of decorum. You can't be speaking out like this." That could have probably got to me better than them just rushing me and grabbing me and forcing me like they did. I probably would have capitulated to somebody like, "Sir, this is you can't speak like this." But the way it went out, man, was beyond my control, and I didn't have any. They were the ones aggressing everything, or forcing all that happened. I was just trying to practice the First Amendment and speak my piece, and as an American citizen, which we're all been silenced or suppressed to think we can't do anymore, which is very unpatriotic and anti-American. And so I'm happy that I'm so thankful that there's people like you that are that support me in this and are gathering, giving me support, and it means a lot, and I appreciate it. And it really, I really feels amazing to be in such community with Sons of Liberty, for sure.
I had a follow-up to that. There were other people in the audience that were in uniform, right? Like, I remember hearing something that there were like a bunch of other uniformed personnel there that were like active duty or something.
I'm not sure if there was other people in their uniform. I can't recall that. I know that a large group of students entered into the hall and took up a couple rows of seats, and they got a show. But also Tony Aguilar was there, and like I told you, he called out the senator. He's made sure the world knew that he was doing shit he wasn't supposed to be doing, and I really appreciate him standing up for me. It's in those moments when it's nice to have a friend, and it was really great to have him. And he is running for the District 13 in Raleigh.
He's also a Green Party candidate, right?
Yes, he's running for the Green Party, and he's really a very smart person, and very sharp, and doing this for altruistic reasons. He could ride out in the sunset. Being a retired military guy is an extensive career, but his heart is leading him into this service role and wanting to take up his civic duty and trying to help the world in these horrible times.
Yeah, no, I had the pleasure of hearing him give a speech because he was at the Remove the Regime protest that we participated in. So I remember the speech he gave there was he was spitting straight fire. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. District 13 is my district, and for a brief moment in time, I considered actually running for office against Brad Knott. Not going to hold a town hall because I'm afraid of my constituents, and I'm glad I didn't because I know Anthony Aguilar, but also there's like 3 Democrats that are running. There's also a Republican who's challenging Brad Knott for the Republican nomination. And also, like, I just didn't want to have to deal with people like digging through my background and being like, well, it says here that you got an Article 15 in the military for having a threesome with your wife. What's up with that? And I was just like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. So,
that might get you some extra votes. Who knows, man?
I don't know because the guy that was running for governor or lieutenant governor,
It seems pretty tame in
Mark
in
Ronson.
today's world, really.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a black Nazi, and I have a fetish for transgender people, but I'm gonna legislate them out of existence. I was like,
Well,
that's not even cool, man. That's just
most
gross.
Republicans. It's
I didn't want to say it because I was trying to be respectful of all of us here who have in the past been Republicans at some point. But
listen. All right, the fetishization of trans folk on the right is weird.
It really is.
it's some deep-seated psychological thing that I don't even understand. We're gonna have so many breakthroughs in psychology and psychiatry in the next 10 to 15 years just from people like looking back on this period of history.
I live in a red area, and I'm supposed to start HRT finally later this month, and it's what? Gonna have some nightmare chasers. It's just gonna happen.
I mean, you look at any data study. I'm an IT guy. Well, I'm not out here. I'm an engineer by trade, and so I'm big data focused, right? I'm always with numbers and stats and percentages, and someone has to keep us on track.
Right? How the hell do you Tim? Can you fucking put Eljo's comment on the goddamn screen, please?
Which one?
She says lots of things.
There we go.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
What the fuck is going on there with that picture? Oh my god!
It's just all of that. Just all of that.
With her profile picture with the dog,
picture, and the comment.
There's so much to unpack in just
so
that little tiny
blot
of the screen.
Psychology around all of this mess.
There's so much there. I don't
remember
have
where I
to
was
say
going
any
with numbers.
I can't. I gotta leave again.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's.
I don't know if he's been ready. Operation Dildo Drop. That's my very.
We've seen some things. When we go into houses at the fire department, you see some things.
Well, I believe it.
Oh yeah.
I believe it.
Does your department do you also do some medical calls as well?
Yeah, that's the majority of our calls.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sure you see some stupid shit there too.
Oh yeah, we get into all kinds of things, and I don't know. This is just a funny phrase we saw on a whiteboard in a house that had lots of paraphernalia like that in there, and it said, "Safe words are very important. Just because I'm crying and say stop doesn't mean I mean that."
I mean, that's actually just good. It's just good. It needs to be said.
I just just to make it clear, I just thought that was so in depth and like so. You got to make this clear.
Right.
Remember, safe words are important.
People got to know.
Focus. There's a difference.
Depending on the context, yes, but there's a lot to unpack there too, and I just.
Let's be fair. That's not even top 5 of the things that's going to get us.
I wore my Dungeon Daddy shirt with an elf getting spanked, and I got crucified by the left for it. And
also,
not understanding.
Also, the famous brisket and titty shirt incident.
Which we talked about last show.
We did. I missed that last.
Brisket and titties.
You missed that last show.
I did. I've been having a little bit of an episode, so it's.
Well, I've missed you. I'm glad you're back on.
You don't show up to my live streams, I'm gonna give you a episode.
Drinking some Yingling in PA. Is that a PA brewery?
Oh yeah, it's
yeah, absolutely
the oldest American brewery.
Yes, it is.
It ain't the best beer, but it's cheap and it's Pennsylvania.
That's actually their slogan.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yingling is a much better American beer than a lot of American beers.
That's true.
Yes.
It's mid, but it's like high mid and not like.
Oh yeah. Well, so I
got a little body to it.
I'm actually very much a beer snob. I used to work at a beer store that sold mostly craft stuff. So like, I will drink.
Did you say mostly craft?
Craft.
Like FT?
Craft.
Or crap
yes.
with a P?
No. I mean, we did sell Bud Light, so we did sell crap. But we specialize in like craft stuff. Oh fuck! Yingling's a union buster. God damn it!
And
have shit
Yinling
in
just got banned
America.
from the show.
Can't have shit in America.
All
Anyway,
right, here's what we need to do. We gotta figure out. Number one, we gotta figure out how to grift onto MAGA with like Sons of Liberty beer, right? With like it's gotta be all dressed up, hyper patriotic, but taste like absolute garbage, but sell it for like $30 a can. But then we got to have the good stuff on the left for all the leftists and the not Republican people like in the Green Party, the Libertarian Party. They're just like, I just want something delicious. That's what we got to do. And I feel like between the four of us, we can come up with something good to put out to the masses, and we can finance it with grifting on the right. And by right, I mean MAGA,
man,
specifically.
Yeah.
We'll sell like the shit to them and then turn around and dump that into like the good stuff.
I have considered doing something to like make a shit ton of money grifting MAGA so much, and if it didn't accidentally amplify their views, I would have done it. If I didn't have scruples, I'd be rolling in dough, man.
Yeah, that's what the brain trust of the admin chat said. Like it was like 2 or 3 weeks back that it was like if we just didn't have any moral convictions whatsoever, we could be making so much money.
If like the cult, all of us were just morally bankrupt, we'd be rolling.
Instead,
this went so far off the rails.
It did.
Yeah. Remember we were interviewing a political candidate. Now we're talking about alternative years.
Yep. I have 2 firefighter friends that are from Scranton, PA.
Okay, all right. Scranton's a decent ways away. I've been through there though.
I've got family up there.
Yeah. But they remind me of the Illinois, just small town Illinois people too. Just like we discussed earlier, just simple folks that don't have a lot of world perspective, just know what they know, and good, honest hometown people. You can't run from your reputation in a small town. So everybody's somewhat honest, everybody's somewhat humble. That's kind of a thing that I appreciate or respect. And moving to Raleigh, been here for the last 18 years, you can get lost in the sauce and mess up and start all over with a whole new set of friends. And so the fact that that's not an option in small towns, I just kind of gives me a level of respect for my folks back home and stuff.
Yeah. And, it goes down to, one of the things we were saying at the very beginning, right? Like it's all about, meeting people wherever they are and seeing that wherever you go, people are just people.
Right. Even in Palestine, man, I went to Palestine and they are just regular people, but they are hard-working people.
Yeah.
We went to the Jordan Valley. They live off the land. They herd sheep. They grow crops, and it's hot in the Jordan Valley. It's below, sea level, and they're also under violent oppression through the Israeli military. Here's an interesting law that they had back in the 70s. They used to just shoot and kill livestock, Palestinian livestock, just to torment them or hurt their ability to live. Then that wasn't efficient enough. So then they developed these the livestock veterinarians or veterinarian hospitals. I'm sorry. And so then these settlers would come and steal 30 sheep, take them to this veteran hospital, and then the Palestinians would have to pay a large amount per sheep to get them back out. And that hit the Palestinians even much harder. The price they would put on these livestock would be so extreme that it would economically ruin these small villages and towns. And so that's the kind of, attention and mental effort they put into tormenting and tearing the Palestinians down. And that's the kind of insight you need to, I think, can color one's perspective to show that this is true evil. This is true intentional anger, like evil, maniacal thoughts and behaviors to hold people down.
It's a systemic genocide, and it's I think one of the most awful parts about me looking at the situation in Gaza post October 7th was realizing that this has always been a genocidal colonialist project for so long. And I just, I just bought the propaganda and didn't even realize it.
Yes.
And, yeah, like it's just it's awful. And it's the same awfulness that that we did to the First Nations peoples, same awfulness that the English did to my ancestors in Ireland, right? Same awfulness that was done against the Jews and Roma and queer folk by the Nazis. It's just.
And like we spoke about World War II, being okay, is that a just war? Was that something that kind of was necessary or whatever, or equal, punishment, equal fighting forces? Well, we established international law from that point. So why can't we go back to respecting that and respecting human rights and going through diplomacy? But no, there's nefarious reasons behind these conflicts in the Middle East. It's all Israel wanting to weaken the region so they can, rise up as the dominant group, state there, and that's what's been fueling all this, all this war. And so we need to, abandon Israel and go back to international law, human rights, and diplomacy. Yeah. And that's my wish, and I think that's a direction we can take if we have enough people to support that idea, or at least abandon go away from this dirty, ugly violence and war.
It is the only moral stance.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
It is. It's just as long as people can wake up and see that there's so much propaganda that props up, the Israelis as a God's chosen people, and people are still really stuck in that mindset. And that's something that's been worked and intentionally thrown out there hardly. And like we talked about the geofencing, all that's they're going to work hard to maintain that, but I think it's crumbling. I hope.
I'm optimistic that it is. I mean, looking at like polling data and all that stuff, and looking at how a big tell. Oh, hi, Mikey. Like a big tell for me is like, were you following the Democratic primaries in Illinois recently at all?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Well, I mean, so there was a candidate that
Cat
Abu Ghazala, yeah.
Which, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, phenomenal candidate. I really wanted her to win. I'm very disappointed she didn't. But I mean,
we had her on our live stream.
We did,
nice.
Yeah. And a lot of, awesome. Part of why she lost though is because AIPAC was starting using shell, packs and everything like that, right? The fact that AIPAC, in their campaign against Cat specifically, was burying the lead so much with how they were channeling their funding, with how they were directing their attack ads, right? That combined with the, again, all the polling data about people's opinions in Gaza. This is controversial, but I actually think the fact that Harris lost and the Democrats in a postmortem that they tried to quash had to publicly acknowledge that Gaza was one of the biggest things that lost for the election, right? I think all these things they give me hope as symbols, or some hope that as signals that our propping up of Israel as an extension of American imperialism in the Middle East is crumbling, and that Israel's trying to use that as a way to manipulate us to gain more power for themselves is also crumbling, and that this entire project can collapse and kind of go the same way as like apartheid South Africa or Zimbabwe, where it collapses, you make a one state, and it's not an ethno state, because it should be that easy. It should be that easy to just not make an ethno state.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's just religious, ideologies that are just seems to hold people in support of this. But I'm with you, man. I hope that is the trajectory, and it's going down. People are recognizing that. Yeah, for sure, dude.
Sir.
It's a lot of Mikey tonight.
Mikey is it's sashaying across the camera quite a lot. Give him some love.
That's one of his favorite things to do. It's like, so I start work early in the morning, and I work from home, so I'm on my computer. I'm having my coffee. I have a giant mug that sits right here on the edge of the desk. He will jump up on the desk and just start trying to attack the cursor. Or he'll sit right in, I mean, like the screen, it's like this, just staring at the screen. I'm like, I can't get anything done. You gotta,
Hello.
I'd like you being up here, but come
on. Yeah. The cats we have are much clumsier than I remember cats being when I was growing up. They just step over everything, knock over everything, and step on the keyboard.
Yeah, it's like
I thought you could place your paws around stuff, but no.
Right.
Yeah.
Cats used to be able to like open doors and stuff, and now they're
just
like,
what's up with cats today, man?
Maybe we're all, as a society, including the pets, collectively dumber.
I think so, man. It's happening. It's systemic, man.
Just remind me.
My last zany question. My last zany question for the night. When, not if, when you get elected to Senate, just pretend that they come to you and they'd be like, "We're so thankful that you're here. We will let you sit on any committee. You pick your own committee. What committee would you pick to be on?"
Oh, let's see. Maybe it would be some type of foreign affairs committee, so I could really just be in the room, seeing what the real tone is with, our government's foreign policy, and hear what people are saying, and it would probably be pretty obvious what's going on, and so maybe try to affect change, because that's where my heart came to this. I'm not anti-democratic or Republican or super strong on the Greens, even though I do believe what the Greens represent. No corporate funding, people, planet, and peace over profit. I think those are really good principles, and but I think it's going to take everybody to go against the Zionistic project, which is the state of Israel and their great presence within our governments and a great influence in our world and in our society. I mean, 32 states, you can't boycott Israeli products. I mean, how did we get to that point? So yeah, that, I guess maybe foreign affairs would be a committee I would just probably throw myself into, and like I told you, I'm not a real well-educated politician, but I hope that can bode well for me. I think, the politicians have made my job easier. To be an anti-politician is probably, hopefully, a positive in many people's minds. And so I'm going to lean heavy on the young voters and try to enact them and get them out to register and get voted for me, to make a real push at this. Try to disenfranchise the Democrats from Roy Cooper, to see that I'm listening to them when he won't. Continue just speaking what got me to this point, which is anti-war, bring money away from Israel and back to North Carolina. And as far as committees, man, what other committees are out there? I'm just having a hard time knowing what would be my options, Big Sarge. Like what kind of committees could be
maybe like the armed
I'm going
services?
to Google this because I don't know every single committee. So
I know there's a lot. Oh, there's a ton of them.
Armed services,
there
for
are
example.
24 committees.
Okay.
And some of them are ones
Ways
that you'd be like,
means.
what? There's for example.
Yeah, armed
Special
services. I would like to be in that
Committee on
one.
Aging.
I'm sorry, what was that?
There's a special committee on aging. There are 24 Senate committees. And some of them are like, why do we have this? And then others are like,
well,
okay,
of course there's a committee on aging, because everybody in the Senate's fucking 8 billion years old.
That's true.
They're all hanging around with Jesus and writing on dinosaurs.
All right,
dude. You seen these guys?
They are geriatric, man.
Except for Fetterman, but Fetterman's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Voted for that guy.
The man had a stroke and became a Republican.
Joint Committee on the Library and Joint Committee on Printing.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to learn. I'm learning a lot. It's interesting, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know enough to see the. I'm sure it has some tangibility to it, but I can't pick it up from this perspective.
Yeah.
from this point of view.
I mean, there's like the ways and means, appropriations, armed services, let's see, the finance, foreign relations, the military, what is it, the Select Committee on Intelligence.
Man, what's up with Joe Kent, man? What do you guys think about him?
You know, okay, so my thoughts on this are...
Tell the audience.
Well, so, I mean, I think Joe Kent's a piece of shit, right? Right? Just full stop. Piece of shit. He found a little bit of a fraction of a spine in leaving his position and telling the American people what we already knew about Iran not actually being a threat to us. And, you know, I'll give him a little bit of flowers for that. But he's still a piece of shit. He worked for the Trump administration. How many crimes did he commit doing that? How many lives did he destroy doing that? How many fucking lies and just crimes against humanity did he launder doing that? I mean, great. He had one moment where he had a little bit of a spine, a little spark of a fucking soul, but fuck him.
I hear you, Jamie. And I love you guys. I love you guys so much. So just arguing as friends. I think it's bad to hold all that against him when he's showing a sign of progression or showing a sign of, you know, going towards the light or something, you know, and speaking out as the National Counterintelligence Director. I would think that should hold some weight when he says what he says, that we're going to war without a true threat, and then it's strongly because of the influence of the Israeli lobby. You know, saying those pertinent words or very poignant statement in this time, I thought was somewhat beneficial to cause more momentum towards an anti-war public outcry. And so I hear you, but I like to try to support those that are actually stepping out of line a little bit.
So no, I mean, and I see that perspective. For me, a lot of it is just I'm very low on trust, I guess, in this instance. And you're right. And again, like I should have emphasized that I do think him speaking out against invading Iran is like the right thing to do. I do think it is an important thing to do. I do think it's beneficial for, you know, the progression of human rights in the world, even, right? My thing is in kind of writing him off is I don't trust that it's not as much a political move or a backlash move or something else. And if Joe Kent is to prove me wrong by showing like a true and continued and sustained change in his behavior and the way he and advocating for things and the way he goes through the world, then I will be happy to be proven wrong. I'm a part of it is also, full disclosure, I'm young and I'm angry. It's hard for me to find some forgiveness sometimes. I try my best, but it's you know, it is what it is at the same time.
As you describe your point of view, I agree with you. There's as much as that woman from Hawaii,
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. She became such a politician that shows me a pattern of how people can make, you know, statements that act like they're anti-war and then turn right back around, get elected, and turn into warmongers. So, you know, that pattern has been set. So the idea of Joe Kent following that path, I hope is not the way, but I respect your hesitancy.
Yeah. It's just like I've seen so much of, like, you know, Tucker Carlson or like Tulsi Gabbard's a great example, or like Marjorie Taylor Greene, right, trying to whitewash themselves and to like distance themselves while even still holding these hateful views, right? Because like Tucker Carlson, sure, he speaks out against the genocide in Gaza. He speaks out against the war in Iraq. Well, actually, I don't remember specifically he does that. So Don't quote me on that. But I do know he speaks out against the war in Iran. But why does he speak out against the war in Iran? It's not because he gives a fuck about civilian lives. It's because he's got, real estate holdings in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So it's financially viable or financially advantageous for him, right? Or like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene has definitely, ended up speaking out against Israel, but why is she speaking out against Israel? Same lady who fucking downplayed the Holocaust, talked about Jewish space lasers. So there's one clue. But also, it's not as if she's ever gone to bat for, Muslim folks, right? Like, and I
never would.
Right. And I get very nervous because I see voices on the left, like, guys like Cenk Uygur who talk about, how we need to break bread with people who are, because they agree with us on, say, being anti-Zionist, but they agree with us from a completely fucked perspective, right? Like,
yeah.
Because there are people out there who I think are so desperate or deluded that they would break bread with Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes talks out against Israel, but he does it because he's a fucking piece of shit racist. And he's jealous that he can't have his own ethno-state, not because he thinks ethno-states are bad. And so I've seen so much of that I do think there's a level of trauma that makes it hard for me to trust in Joe Kent. But like I said, if he proves me wrong, I will be happy about that.
Yeah. Sure. And that's kind of my idealistic idea is that I wanted to bring people together to stop the killing of innocent people, namely children. And if that could be a focal point we all could agree upon and put away racist pasts, even just the most worst heinous sins, but somehow unite and put that aside just to try to stop the killing of children. That could be a point that I would hope we could pursue, because I think the Zionist project, which you've clearly stated, Jamie, that is at hand, the colonial project is claiming a lot of lives, and to stop that bleeding of this world, stop that bringing America's moral high ground and bringing us down from that, and draining us economically. And so if we could just somehow unite on stopping it, even past all the things. And I'm, like I said, with Joe Kent, with Tucker Carlson, him being such an influence with a lot of Christian conservatives, him speaking out could reach those Christian conservatives. And we have a human issue here, and it's going to take humans to help other humans, get in the boat or get in the fight. And so we all are imperfect in our own ways. So it takes different, keys of us to like reach other folks. So Tucker Carlson is a key. Charlie Kirk was definitely a key that was taken out because he was so influential to the young conservatives. And so that's the kind of enemy, I think, the kind of violence that the Zionists will take to uphold their narrative. I do believe Charlie Kirk was taken out by them, and the circumstantial evidence around that has just got me convinced that was. And then the shallow investigation and all the and how they've just buried that story and all the stories.
Well, not that Cash Patel could fucking find his asshole from a goddamn bobo, but Yeah.
It's concerning, man. It's tough. It's tough out there.
It is.
Yeah, it's one thing when you're like, oh, this is definitely conspiracy. It's another when you're sort of proven right just based on the fact that the people who are supposed to be competent law enforcement investigators aren't, and they completely fumble everything, like the third string bench warmer who finally gets on the field because everybody else is injured, and he goes to catch the ball and it lands in his arms and then bounces out, and he's like, that's the FBI right now with regards to Charlie Kirk. And I don't even want to talk about Charlie Kirk, because every time somebody talks about Charlie Kirk, somebody gets fired somewhere from their job. And it's like, that guy's just a regular fucking dude who got shot. It sucks, but And yet here we are, full circle again, coming back to it, and they're like, "Oh, well, the investigation isn't going well at all." But no shit, really? It's because you're all incompetent. All the good people were like, "I'm out," and then you put the guy in charge that can't do anything.
Good
He's like,
impersonation.
"I'm gonna go fly around on the jet and do the stuff with the girl."
He'll
that doesn't
see in
really like
Valhalla there, Big Sarge.
Not that I'm complaining that he's bad at his job in this particular instance, but it's pretty telling when, somebody tries to assassinate the president and you're the head of the FBI and you're in Italy getting fucking wasted with a fucking hockey team.
If I were that incompetent at my job, I would not have a job. The fact that this guy has one of the most high profile jobs in the country, and A, he's not qualified, B, he got in there anyway, I think they call that a DEI hire, and continues to fuck it up. It's like, how many more signs do you need? Like, I should be able to go apply for a job at like Glaxo, Wexon, whatever the pharmaceutical company is. And if they interview me, I'll be like, well, you know what? Kath Patel's director of the FBI and Donald Trump is president. So you should give me this job.
I mean, that's a compelling argument. Say that as a hire or so. Good, Big Sarge. Apply.
Yeah.
I've been in the hiring manager position before, and if somebody pulled that shit on me, I would be like, get the fuck out of here. But it's so compelling now. At the very least, I'd be like, okay, that's solid logic, but that doesn't work in the real world. So if I showed up at your firehouse and said I should be a firefighter because I saw a movie once and I know I have a hose in my garden and I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah, that's all the hires. It's all loyalty. Whatever you can scratch Trump's back or stay loyal. That's all it is. Yep. It's all business. It's all economic gain. He's just helping out his billionaire buddies, and that's where his mind is. And he's just moving to pieces like that and exploiting all those MAGA people as idiots. And it's just, man, it's sad that people aren't waking up to it. Yeah, I have some hope in the unorthodox people that are running for election this year. There's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of people that are unorthodox non-politician types. So I hope that they can get the vote and people can take a chance on folks like me and other folks that just because out of just being tired of the status quo.
Yeah, and this year it's wide open. There's never been a fundamental shift in the political landscape quite like this year. So it has opened the door for a lot of people to be able to get through if they can get the voters to coalesce around them. Because as you alluded to, it's also a wide open field of many races going on. A lot of people run for the same seat.
Yes.
So the key's going to be is who can rise to the top and become that cultural lightning rod that's going to bring people in and be like, all right, yes, you know what? It's time for something different. It's time for this guy.
Yeah. I'm going to make a college try at it. I got a good campaign team. Got some really good qualified people who are specialists in different groups or different areas. And so it's interesting, man. I asked y'all to look out for me. I think because who I've besmirched, I feel a sense of there's a target on my back, and you guys are the kind of people I want to reach out to and talk to you in a sense of like, man, just, have my back if there's anything that goes down. And, may I'm stepping into the fire and this, this dangerous political atmosphere, and having y'all's support means a lot to me. And I'm just kind of not beating around the bush. I feel like there is a sense of danger that I'm stepping into because I don't think there's limits to what billionaires will do to protect their investments. And so we've seen it done before, and so I'm not naive to that.
I was going to add the usual mantra that Big Sarge sometimes iterates through. It's the I'm not depressed, I'm not suicidal,
Right.
I am not a danger to myself.
Yeah.
Just in case something were to happen in the very near future.
All those things.
Get that on record.
I'm so happy with life. I'm so fulfilled. I'm so thankful with all the support, and I have a great family, and I care about my kids, and I'm well versed in peer support and social help and how much we need each other. And I'm a big believer in all that stuff. So yeah, man, I'm not looking to harm myself in any way, shape, or form. I'm full of life and vigor for this race, and I have a huge purpose, and I'm thankful for everything. So yeah, man, there's nothing that I would ever want to do in regards to harming myself. Let that be on this record, and I'm all about trying to save people and for good in this world. And and I feel good amongst Big Sarge, Jamie, and Matt. Man, I'm so thankful to coalesce with you guys.
And that's great to hear, because we need so many in this fight. No checking out early.
So many of us.
I said that was my last any question, but I have one more that's going to come out of left field. And
bring it.
Here we go.
How do you feel about impeaching Donald Trump?
I think it's necessary. I think yesterday is too late, man. We got to do it, man. He's got to go. He's shown us he ran on no wars. Here we are. He's a liar. I used to think that, the Democrats were just trying to, smear him with all these allegations, but I don't think that anymore. I also used to think the Republicans and Democrats were a true opposition. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there's the deep state. It's all theater amongst those two parties, is my opinion now. So, but yeah, impeach him. Get him out of there.
I mean, man does something impeachable like every goddamn day.
It's true. It's not even like a marginal thing or a kind of thing. It's kind of like, oh, that was a country mile over the fucking red line.
Yeah. And that Lutnick guy, he's got ties to 9/11. I really don't like him. Just the look of him, and
he's scummy.
Yeah, very scummy. Very scummy.
So the reason that I asked that question is because Sons of Liberty is partnered with a group called Citizens Impeachment, and one of the things that Citizens Impeachment is doing is they've built this caucus called the Courage Caucus, and it's all progressive candidates. In the interest of full disclosure, they're all Democrats. I don't know if there are any independents. I don't know if there are any Green Party either. But the reason that I ask is that's one of the ways, actually the only way, that pretty much the only gatekeeping is, are you for impeaching Donald Trump? That's their thing. Yeah. So with that out of the way, I did ask Kira, who's the head of Citizens Impeachment, can you be on the Green Party and be in the Courage Caucus? Because if so, I want to get you in there because they can absolutely help boost your campaign. And I mean, fucking North Carolina's Democratic option is Roy Cooper, who, yeah, he's Democrat. Yeah, he's kind of blue, but I mean, the whole AIPAC thing is,
yeah.
It just should be like, I mean, I have 2 deal breakers at this point, or 3 deal breakers. 1, if you're not willing to impeach, fuck you. 2, if you take money from AIPAC, fuck you. 3, if you see any ground on trans rights, fuck you. And I feel like that's not pretty reasonable. This is me.
Yeah. I respect that, and I would love to be on that caucus because I think it takes everybody. I have a lot of friends that are in the Democratic Party trying to change it within. I don't discourage anybody in any realm of their world, position their world to do what they can to fight against this government. So I'm, just because I'm Green Party doesn't mean I'm anti anybody else. This is my party. This is what I'm bringing to the table in this huge war that we all have to unite on. So if I can get that endorsement or join that caucus, and I'm down, man, because Trump's got to go and everybody's got to go. He's talking about draining the swamp. No, man, he filled it up, man. He filled it up.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and talking about this citizens impeachment, bridging gaps between Green Party candidates, Democratic Party candidates, that's something people on the left we sorely need, right? is we got to hold our line in the sand of like, you gotta actually like play ball and like be on the left, right? You can't be
They
Fetterman.
serve the people.
Yeah,
We are the people.
you got to serve the people, right? You can't be a Fetterman about it, but also like we need to coalesce. We need to build coalition. We need to build bridges between disparate like third parties and more progressive Democrats and everything, so that we're able to fundamentally push the Democratic Party left. And two, fundamentally, get ranked choice voting so we can actually have viable third parties.
Yes. Why are they so scared about ranked choice voting? Bring it in there.
I can tell you why.
Yeah.
Because
if I did, I'd have to caveat it with, my name is Big Sarge. I'm very happy. I'm not suicidal. I don't have...
Ranked choice voting would enfranchise too many people, man. We can't have that shit.
Yeah, they're
spending a lot of money trying to get rid of ranked choice voting in the West Coast states. If you've seen that, money has been pouring into, especially on a California ballot initiative to get rid of ranked choice voting in that state, where it is undercutting their power. So of course they want to get rid of it.
Does Vermont have it?
I have no idea.
That's a good question. I don't know if Vermont has ranked choice voting.
I think they do.
I know New York has it, I think that's the only state that I know specifically that has it, to be honest.
Well, all three of the West Coast states have it. California, Oregon, and Washington all have it. Somebody in the middle, I don't know if it's Missouri or Chicago, not Chicago, sorry, Illinois, had it at some level or for local. I don't believe anyone else has it at the state level.
Okay.
We got to get Josh Shapiro on that, Matt.
Yeah. Try it. Look. I've got my great pipeline to Josh Shapiro. I'll get right on it.
Too busy sounding bombs. I mean,
you meet the guy twice, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, can you reach out to about this?"
Yeah, right.
I think that's a good stopping point for tonight because we've been going for over 2 hours.
Oh wow, this is one of our longer live stream. Shit.
Yeah,
it is.
Good show.
Man, I really enjoyed it.
It's been great.
You've been a great guest.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks so much for having me. And man, I love everything about you guys. Really do. Respect everything that you stand for, how inclusive you are, how strong you are, just how savage you guys are, the metal, the punk. I think you really are holding the line for a lot of us and having this space to attract people to, or have a place for folks like me to come and commune is amazing. So it's really enjoyable. I really appreciate meeting you guys, man. I hope you stay in touch.
Hey, I mean, again, very glad to have you.
We live like 30 minutes apart, right?
Yeah, you're between Greensboro and Raleigh.
I try not to say it on the live stream just because I get death threats.
Oh, my bad.
At least once a week.
True.
My bad.
Yeah,
I just ratcheted you in, or what do you call it?
Bracketed you. Yeah.
I actually anticipate that one day in 2026, somebody's gonna walk up on my door and be like, "What's up, Big Sarge? I heard you talking shit," and I'll be like, "Yeah, sure. Come on into my house."
Right. Come on in.
I mean, I'm
Let me just back up a little bit. Come on in the house. I got something for you.
Did you ever see Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Listen. I've said many times on the internet, if you show up at my door, you get one of two things, and they both start with B.
Bitches.
Beer. And the other one is a small oblong shape that's fired out of a tube at a very, very high velocity.
I'm not getting it. Maybe it's for Blues
Clues. Big Sarge, did you make up the slogan "Die Mad About It"?
You did.
I did.
I love that, man. That is so
I heard
funny.
it somewhere a long time ago, and then one day my kid, when he was probably two or three,
bagels.
was talking about he was protesting something. He's like, I'm like, I don't care. I'm mad about it. And I don't know why I said it, but he had no idea what I was talking about. And his mother was like, don't say that. And then he was like, yeah, don't say that. And then I was getting in trouble, and he's like, die mad about it. So it just became a thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make that Sons of Liberty thing because
it's so good.
It's on
I used it today.
posters.
It's so good. I used it today on. I used your slogan, man. I hope that's no copyright infringement, man. I got my stuff, and it said, you know, I love Gaza or something, and I said, if you don't, well, die mad about it.
but no, man, like
Well done.
it's, I don't know. It warms my heart to see like another fucking Marine turned lefty, right? Especially just to counterbalance that fucking disgrace to our goddamn core and the goddamn vice presidency.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't believe we wore the same uniform as that asshole.
Yeah. He's a politician, or he's just a talker, or yeah, man. I don't like him. I don't like none of those guys, man. I don't like none of those guys. So, yeah, there's assholes in every job and every facet of life.
Yeah.
So you know, some people think we're assholes, and that's what I think we would all live with that. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're all happy with what we stand for.
Yeah.
Have you met Richard Ojeda yet?
I don't believe.
Oh, there's a connection you need to.
You get along with him.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what would
you
happen?
Get along.
If we had a show, Sons of Liberty, and it was like me and Cliff Cash, North Carolinians, and Brian McGinnis and Richard Ojeda, on this show would burn the internet up.
I love it.
I mean, you remember when we had Richard Ojeda on for Veterans Day live stream, and we all just got wasted.
We had him on like 4 or 5 times. Every time we have that guy on, it's like as soon as we go live, he is live, and he is a force of nature, and it is just like
the last time I talked to him, I think I got
had the energy.
Last time we talked to him on a live stream, I got super hammered, and I walked outside for a cigarette, and then somebody in chat dared me to eat a crayon, and half.
I remember that.
I ended up with half a crayon on the front porch for like months because I didn't.
Yeah, and I was like, "Was that the candy crayon?" You're like, "No."
It sucked.
What flavor?
It was orange. It's a shitty
flavor.
flavor.
That's my favorite.
I like the red ones. What can I say?
You guys went there. I love when people are off the hook like that and drive the conversations and go there. You know, it sounds like this Ojeda guy is wild, and
you would go.
Takes it there. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I feel like that's what we need. I'm gonna have a barbecue. I'm gonna have a barbecue at my house, and I'm gonna be like, all right, Richard Ojeda, come on over. Brian McGinnis, come on over.
We're there, dude.
So I mentioned IAVA. There's an IAVA senior official who I think she's left IAVA. Allison, I can't remember her last name, but she's running for House over, I think it's the Rocky Mount district. I'm not 100% sure. Also a veteran, Army veteran. I feel like we should have like a veteran symposium. And I'll throw on the grill. We'll be like, whatever, you know. I'll even get halal stuff so that, you know, people who come over that don't have to necessarily eat the horse shit that I eat.
Burgers, man, some burgers and beef hot dogs. We be good. It doesn't matter, whatever. Oh man,
let's awesome. Do it. Well, I'll put up like video cameras everywhere. We'll just like live stream the whole thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, that'd be great, dude. I would love it. I'd love to hang out with you guys.
That might get me in trouble, dude.
I know, right? I'm like, my neighbors. I have like a lot of black neighbors, a lot of Hispanic neighbors. There's like maybe 3 or 4 white people in the suburb that I live in. But I bet we could have a fucking party.
Oh yeah, man, definitely have a great time, dude. It'll be fine, man.
My wheels are spinning now. I gotta stop before I'm gonna commit to something, and my wife's gonna come home and be like, "What the fuck did you do?"
Check with the wife. Check with the wife. I totally understand that. You gotta check it with the missus. Gotta check with the boss lady. You got to, man.
She watches the stream sometimes, but sometimes she'll lurk and I won't know. And then the next morning she'll come home from work.
And then that'll be the show that he said something.
Yeah.
And that's the part she was paying attention for.
I mean, last stream, this past Tuesday, she's at work and she's like rolled up on the stream and I didn't know, but she was in the comments for like a whole hour.
Some of us do.
Why didn't you say anything? How you gonna let me embarrass myself? And you knew that my wife was there, and meanwhile I'm over here like.
We have there's a chat in here that we use to communicate, show technical issues, etc. I was sending him messages. Hey, your wife's on the stream. Oh shit, your wife's on this watching the stream, and he's paying zero attention to it. He's continuing to say what he was saying.
I mean, sometimes I'm very attentive to all the different lanes, and then other times I'm just like,
you were on a tangent, and you were deep in the tangent. The knife hand was out.
Oh yeah. Hey, did you see me on Tom Tillis? Did you see me talk to Tom Tillis online?
I didn't see it.
I gave him the knife hand. I talked to him because he let out he was leaving out this the bullet points about 40 beheaded babies and all these never substantiated atrocities that happened on October 7th, which ignited this justification for what has happened, but they've never been substantiated. So I had a personal vendetta against him, and so when I went to Senate that day, I earlier ran into him, and so I called him out about. He voted no against the war's resolution, so Trump could just have free reign to do what he wanted to do. And then so I asked him about that, and then I went in on telling him I just didn't appreciate the emails and the lack of effort he put into learning about the history of the Palestine-Israel conflict, and never changing his this unquestionable support of Israel, even though I think there's plenty of evidence to make somebody question that. So anyway, I went at him pretty hard and I threw out a bunch of knife hands, and I have to put it on my Facebook, or I'll put it on something. Maybe you guys can check it out.
You gotta hit it. You gotta hit him with the hey Tom, tree leg.
No. Hey.
That's another reason why I wouldn't run for office. I would knife hand everybody. I would be like, shit, fuck you. Traitor.
Yeah. And Bobtailed Trucker, thank you very much.
Oh man.
All right. I gotta wrap things up because I had this, but I also had like 3 big ass glasses of water, and now I gotta go.
I'm fiending for a cigarette.
Got you, man.
Brian, thank you so much, so much for giving us 2.5 hours of your time with all the busy stuff you got going on back there. There were tons of other things you could be doing, and you chose to spend your time with us. I hope that your arm heals miraculously enough where you can maybe Navy SEAL a guy in the Navy SEALs. And
one of my partners said, give him a free gender surgery with a swift kick to the balls. When I talked to her about this.
Yeah. No violence. Those days are behind me. But yeah, I really want to use my voice and try to bring this administration into, or just try to help out, man. That's all we can do, man. Just trying to do. But so thanks for having me on, SARS, Jamie, and Matt. I appreciate you guys so much, man.
Oh yeah.
Tell El Jo thanks for me. She gave me some. She got me connected with you guys again. So thanks to all your guys, people.
And El Jo's been in here, moderating the entire time.
Thanks, El Jo.
So shout out El Jo.
Dildo stealing dog.
Retriever.
Retriever. Yeah.
That's gonna be our show for tonight. Saturday night special. outside of our normal Tuesday nights, our Tuesday night show schedule is posted somewhere. We're booked all the way into like
That schedule somewhere.
I don't even know. I think we're in like
Booked in the June.
yeah.
I don't look at that schedule.
Our next show is going to be what's the 4th? So Chris Cluey. Chris Cluey is going to be our next guest on this coming Tuesday. We've also got Jordan Herrera the Tuesday after that. Resistor Vic Myers, congressional candidate. Bree Woodson and Robbie Peoples are going to be upcoming guests. I think we got like a couple of the people in our emails talking about booking shows. Brian McGinnis, Saturday Night Special, Marine, firefighter, father, parent. That's the same thing. I don't know what I'm talking about.
He likes this guy's material.
You ever be on a roll and you're like, I'm doing good here. I'm doing good here.
Yeah.
And you say something, you're like, that's
Keep going.
You lost it. You had too much water.
Like,
dude.
that was me. That's our show for tonight. 2 claps and a Rick. Woo! Good night, everybody. Thank you for staying.
Good night,
with us.
everybody.